This presentation is a quick start to the product feature opcwebtrend.net. To enable trending for your points, the first thing you'll want to do using the Configure OPC Systems application. Under Configure Tags, to enable a point for real-time trending, you select the Trend Point option. Next, we'll use Visual Studio to create an ASP.NET web application. We'll select File, New, Website, or ASP.NET Web Project. I'm going to set the target framework to 3.5. That's more common than the 4.0 framework. And choose an ASP.NET website. The default page appears, and first what we're going to do is drop an OPC Web Refresh control onto the form. If you have not yet selected any of the OPC web controls, you can right-click in the toolbox and select Choose Items. Under the list of the .NET Framework components, scroll down to the OPC controls. Select all of the OPC web controls except for the individual one called OPC Web Trend. Use the component called OPC Web Trends. That gives the assembly name a different name than the component name, which works better in Visual Studio. The individual OPC Web Trend is left here for legacy support for our existing customers. We'll select OK. The first thing we need to drop onto the form is an OPC Web Refresh control. Next, we're going to automatically update the web.config file for the AJAX interface. The easiest way to do that is to drop an OPC Web Controls label onto the form and then simply select it and delete it. Now we're ready to drop the OPC Web Trend control onto the form. Go ahead and change the size of anything that you would like it to be. Right-click on the Web Trend control and select Properties. To set the default time frame, go down to the Time Frame property. This is the default real-time time frame. You can change this programmatically during runtime from the client if you like. The sample rate is something also you might want to set related to the time frame and sample rate for the real-time trending. To set which pens you want to trend in the application, select the Pens property. If your web application is going to run on a different box than the OPC system service, then include the network node name, IP address, or registered domain name where the OPC system service is going to reside. Most of the time your web application will reside on the same box as the OPC system service, so you can select the local service. Even though your clients are going to be running on remote boxes, they're going to be remote web browsers. Select the points that you want to trend. Right-click to select Add Trend Point. Set each of the colors that you want to include with the line color property of each pen. You can also set the y-axis range high and range low for each individual pen as well if you're going to use % of pen ranges for scaling. Select OK. Under the trend type you can select different chart formats, and under the scale mode you can set your scaling to either absolute, % of pen ranges, or best fit. I'll use % of pen ranges. So the y-axis is now a scale of 0 to 100% based upon each individual pen's high and low range. Now you're ready to deploy your web application. To test it, just right-click and select View in Browser. It'll prompt you to save the changes. And there we have the trend window running inside of the browser, serving up real-time data from the central service. Notice that this data has already been requested of one particular time frame from the system already, so the trend data was already cached. If you have not selected this particular time frame and sample rate combination for your pens, then the data will become new in the trend window, but then after that you will have the last 60 seconds always available at any client that you bring up. To test if your smartphone supports AJAX, simply enter in the website opcweb.net. Select the 2D or 3D trending of any of the trend controls, and you'll be able to see, does your smartphone support real-time trending in your application. If you have any further questions about the product feature opcwebtrend.net or any of the opcsystems.net product features, visit us online at opcsystems.com. Under our training link, you'll see additional training videos on this product feature and other opcsystems.net product features. And under Contact Us, you'll find our contact information along with a link to request a free product demonstration.